let's change that this year. Let's go from talking about the goals that we have into actually making them a reality. Let's go from saying that your business is going to grow, I don't know, 5x, and actually lay that goal in pen to paper in writing, and actually work reverse backwards and explain how you're going to get there, and then implement it and make it happen. Everyone, welcome back to the Bridging the Divide podcast. I'm your host, Rolando Bonilla. Let me first begin with the obvious. Happy New Year to you, your families, your loved ones. What an amazing feeling to, be blessed enough to have another year of life, to, sit here with the optimism that the new year brings, and all of the commitments that we're all making, whether it's going to the gym or whether it's reading more books, hanging out with more friends. This is the time of the year that we all reset. This is the time of the year where we make these commitments, some bold and audacious, some not so, but nevertheless commitments to ourselves. Now, the question is, how many of us are going to actually keep those commitments in December 31st, look of 2026, look back and say, wow, I kept my word to myself and got them done. And therein lies the issue that a lot of us, small business owners, entrepreneurs, have, in that this is the beginning of the year. This is the beginning of that reset. But in reality, this is also your opportunity to essentially wipe the slate clean and attack the new year with all of the things that you learned in 2025 and before, and give yourself the best opportunity to succeed. But here's the kicker: you actually have to do something about it. Very often, the beginning of the year, end of the previous year, we're all caught up in these conversations of how we're going to be different. New year, new me, new year, new me. And then the new year comes and there's no new me, right? We make a lot of commitments that we don't keep. Let's change that this year. Let's go from talking about the goals that we have into actually making them a reality. Let's go from saying that your business is going to grow, I don't know, 5x, and actually lay that goal in pen to paper in writing, and actually work reverse backwards and explain how you're going to get there, and then implement it and make it happen. And so that's the thing, right? That very often we all know those friends and those family members who've been talking for years about what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, and we're now at the point where it's part of the background noise, right? Hey, cousin Jimmy's coming over. Oh yeah, we're going to hear about the restaurant he wants to open for the last 20 years that hasn't opened, or cousin Samantha's coming over and she wants to talk about all the real estate acquisitions she wants to make that she hasn't made yet. This is the year for you to actually make sure you don't get caught up in that trap. This is the time for you to set both bold goals but also short-term goals, because you're not going to get to the long-term goals if you don't have short-term goals to propel you forward with momentum. Good example of that is why a lot of us, when the new year comes, gyms are at capacity, everyone's in the gym. I will do this. I'm going to work out every day. I'm going to eat better. And by about March, the gyms thin out again, and I'm not eating better, and I'm not working out every day. And then I'm wondering why I look a particular way. Again, nothing wrong with any of that, but if I am making that commitment to myself, I need to be able to stick through with it. And so, using that kind of gym concept, the same applies here in business. You can't get your body lean and healthy if you're not taking the time to eat right and go to the gym. Well, you can't start a successful business if you're not taking the time to do the research, to understand the steps it takes for you to get to that next level. And then at some point, actually going to the gym, in this case, actually making it happen, whether it's going out to have meetings to secure funding, whether it's going out there and trying to get a bank loan, or whether it's going out there, man to man combat, as I call it, one to one, trying to get that one person to purchase your product in order to capitalize your company. These things don't happen without a plan, and these things don't happen without that plan being brought to life with an action. So, as excited as we are, and I am truly excited about the new year, let's make this a year of action. Let's make this a year of actually turning these commitments that we talk about into a reality. Kobe Bryant tells a story of when the summer came around, he would write a contract to himself and he would sign it. And he talked about how the reason that he did that was because he had made a commitment to himself, and he was going to abide by that commitment, honor that commitment, because he actually took the time to sign that contract. You have to do the same. I know a lot of you that I talked to along the way, we've been having a lot of the same conversations, and we're now at that point where it's like you're either going to make that move or you're not, right? There is such a thing as analysis, paralysis by analysis, where you're so caught up in trying to find all the research on the topic, the optimal opportunity to take that jump doesn't exist. It doesn't exist, right? When I started my company, it was on the heels of the '07, '08 recession. Housing bubble had exploded, had popped. The economy was in pain. People were losing homes throughout the country. It was what a lot of people were telling me, probably the worst time to get into business. I actually disagreed with that. My thinking was, if I can build myself during this very difficult economic cycle, if I can survive, not only make it but survive, then when the economy picks up, I'll be able to take advantage of that window because I will have worked out all of my the intricacies of my company during a very difficult time. In other words, the harder it is, the more you do hard things, the easier things tend to get in life. And the result was that I was right. That at the end of the day, the company was built in a way that it was built. I like the joke. We were built for pain because we understood what it was like to be in those difficult times, and then when the good times came around, we were prepared for that. And you can then absorb the down cycles like the one that we're arguably in right now, because you understand the psychology of how these things work. You understand the steps you have to take to thrive in these downsides. Remember, for as bad as things may feel right now, there are people right now making a lot of money and having a lot of success right now because they see the opportunities in the chaos. And so those folks tend to be better positioned for the good times because they're resilient enough to be calm under pressure so that when things get better, they're better able to take advantage of those opportunities. So this has to be your year of action. This has to be the day the time that you finally get off the couch, finally stop researching that idea that you've researched over 1,000 different ways, and this is your time to actually get on the field and start playing. Otherwise, like a lot of folks that the end of this year will come. It'll be the same conversation, and you will have lost a year of productivity, a year of opportunity, because you just weren't prepared to take that step and actually hit the ground running. Yes, as I've said before on this podcast, you're going to fail. Yes, you're going to run into hard situations that are going to require a lot of you to overcome. Yes, you're going to run into situations that are scary. Yes, you're going to run into moments that feel very, very alone, very at times humbling, right? In your mind, we all see ourselves as superstars, or at least I hope you do. And then these situations arise that make you feel that you may not be able to overcome that obstacle. Well, these are also moments of character building, and these are also moments of building the essence and culture of your company, the ethos, for lack of a better word, of your company, in order to shape it in the way that you want it to be. I'm currently coaching my son's sixth grade basketball team, and I don't know if I've talked about this before, but I'm building a team and a culture of supporting each other, of holding each other accountable, of believing anything is possible. And as I record this, I just finished a practice with them where I was explaining to them the importance of communicating on the court, both on offense and on defense. And we go from a game where they weren't doing so well to recognizing that they had a duty to each other. They have a duty to communicate with each other on the court in order to help the team as a whole. What am I saying? What I'm saying is you don't have to go through this process alone in order to turn your actions into your ideas into actions in reality. Part of it sometimes is identifying people around you that can encourage you, support you, mentor you, or finding those books or those podcasts like this one really intended on giving you the space and the confidence to go from talking about your idea to turning it into reality. I know you could do it, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't be taking the time to listen to this. Let's turn this idea into something tangible. Let's make this the year that you learn your lessons, both the good ones and the bad ones, because you need them both. And that by the time you look back December 31st of 2026, you will see someone that you do not recognize anymore because you had the internal courage and conviction to just get on the field and try. Not be worried about what people say about you, not be worried about whether the outcome is negative or positive, but just consistently focused on getting on that field, making progress every day so that you can become the business owner that you have talked about so you can actually do it. All right, my friends, listen, Happy New Year. Wishing you an amazing 2026. May it be even better than you dreamt of. I look forward to continuing this journey with you. I'll see you next week.